Let me stand on all existing protocol, and I want to first of all thank you for being present at the Waasa Nigeria 2026 General Assembly and election holding this 17th day of July 2026. I salute the Waasa's Board of Trustees and the entire executive here present. Thank you for your time, your leadership, and your extraordinary commitment. As we all know, the West African Action Network in Small Arms is a regional civil society network working to prevent the spread and misuse of small arms in West Africa. Today, as we transition to a new ESCO, I wish to humbly reflect on how my 6 years tenure has unfolded. I titled it chapter by chapter. For chapter one, I came into the office in 2020, having won the election and made as president of Waasa Nigeria. Sadly, that was a COVID year, and the beginning of my beginning of my tenure was accosted with diverse challenges. However, amidst global crisis, we were still able to assist in prison decongestion efforts, distribute protective materials to vulnerable communities, and join the fight against COVID-19 through Soko COVID. Chapter 2. The Waasa Nigeria has consistently been part of the World Border Congress Security, attending conferences and making presentations abroad, including the most recent in April 2026 held in Vietnam, Austria, where our program director, Engineer Shido Okoli, made a compelling presentation calling for urgent regional action to secure our borders due to the deteriorating security crisis at the Sahel and other emerging threats. In May 2026, Waasa Nigeria attended the first Border Studies Conference 2 and made another presentation focusing on international border wars and security. Prior to this time, whenever we attended these meetings abroad, we were often confronted with the question, why does Nigeria have no NATCOM office? The plethora of times we were asked this question. We decided to carry out a headlong advocacy on this with the then President Buhari's government. Waasa Nigeria consistently published statements from Miranda demanding the federal government establish NATCOM. Our public advocacy, including radio, television presentation, they are all well documented. This paid off on May 3rd, 2021, when the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari established the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons by the Executive Directive for the Presidency, replacing the defunct NATCOM. What I titled Chapter 3, Human Rights and Institutional Engagement. Under my leadership, Waasa Nigeria has celebrated the Global Week of Action Against Gun Violence every June of every year. With relative level of peace, we are aware we would have less advocacy to carry out. Therefore, Waasa Nigeria made it a yearly routine to celebrate the United Nations Peace Day. When human rights are respected, there will be less use for small arms and light weapons. With this notion, Waasa made it a tradition to join the National Human Rights Commission in observing International Human Rights Day. From here, we use this platform to demand for justice for the late greatness Olorufemi, who died from the popular one chance here in Abuja, September 2023. Mr. Martinigo was in the forefront of that campaign for the non-production of police report before gun, stab, or accident victims are attended to. I was present at her burial, and my message was well reported by Arise News that this Miss Greatness could not live out her greatness on account of insecurity in the country and negligence. That her death should serve as a catalyst for saving future lives. Thank God advocacy among that of others group paid off, as it has reinforced the enforcement of compulsory treatment and care for victims of Gunshots Act 2017. This has addressed a critical gap due to misrepresentation of the old laws. With discipline and proper orientation in our tertiary institutions, Waasa believe the war against insecurity is half won, given Nigerians' youthful demographic population. Hence, we collaborated with the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and the National Universities Commission to carry out an anti-crime, drug, and social vices campaign in tertiary institutions. In a bid to catch them young, Waasa Nigeria also partnered with the NDLEA and Gandhi Light Foundation to carry out advocacy against drug abuse in our secondary schools, as most gun violence is drug-induced. Together, we joined the launch of War Against Drug Abuse, the Water Shatter in Abuja. We also partnered with secondary schools like the Primary Academy in Lube. Waasa organized a mental health training program this May. The presentation was delivered by our partner and member. She said, yeah, Dana Lawrence, a mental health counselor. So if you have some people going through challenges, you can reach out to her later. We believe healthy individuals who are psychologically and mentally stable would hardly want to indulge in substance abuse, which is capable of inducing gun violence and conflict at the slightest provocation. In February 2026, we coordinated a one-day consultative national stakeholders preparatory meeting in Abuja, emphasizing the need to align with the international treaties like the UNPOA, United Nations Programme of Action, ITI, and the Interagency Cooperation, while stressing that more must be done on border security. This was in the preparation for the 2026 ninth Biennial Meeting of States on the UN Programme of Action, BMS9. Our first regional vice president seated here today, Mr. Martin, and our program director that just made his own statement, attended physically in New York at the United Nations headquarters for the meeting, and we also made a presentation there. Now, since small arms and light weapons disproportionately affect women and than their male counterparts, in solidarity with women, and because we believe in the WPS, Women, Peace and Security, Waasa Nigeria made it a yearly custom to mark the International Women's Day every March 8th, participate in the 16 days of gender advocacy every November 25th, December 10th, coordinated by the Center for Women's Global Leadership, heavily supported by the by UN Women. Earlier in 2025, we also participated at the ECOWAS annual coordination meeting on small arms and light weapons in Ghana. Thanks to ECOWAS, they sponsored me on this mission, where during the review and validation of the draft regional strategy on countering improvised explosive, Waasa Nigeria was able, through the presentation I made, to underscore the importance of integrating gender perspective in the regional IED strategy and craft production guidelines. This was also adopted in their final report by the majority vote on item number 19. Also in 2025, Waasa Nigeria teamed up with Gender Equality Advocacy and Development Initiative, where I'm founder, to distribute sanitary pads to survivors of gender-based violence in the shelter homes of the Ministry of Women Affairs and NAPTIP. In 2026, commemoration of the Global Week of Action Against Gun Violence, Waasa joined GEDI to distribute both cash gifts and business startup materials for victims of gun and gender-based violence. This we did after carrying out a need assessment in the survivors' areas of strength. Through Gender Equality Advocacy and Development Initiative, we've been able to work with the Ministry of Women Affairs to send some sexual and gender-based violence victim survivors back to school and to help a few of them with startup money. GD also currently working with NAPTIP. Just yesterday, we went with NAPTIP to close down a house in Abuja discovered during our field work where girls are being sexually exploited. This we just did yesterday, 16th of July. Fast forward to today, Waasa under my leadership is not just gaining recognition at home with several partners, but we're also making a name on the global stage. And I think we should clap for ourselves here for this. So my special thanks goes to ECOWAS Small Arms Division, Department of Political Affairs, Peace and Security. You are the pride on which we stand today. Thank you for giving us a chance. Our international body, I answer, thank you for your guidance and support. The international border community, thanks for being our strong ally. To NDLA, thank you for being a formidable partner. And my special thanks, this is personal acknowledgement. My special thanks goes to Mr. Martin, our first Vice Regional President, for being so supportive. Thank you, sir, for all your support. It has been your guide that has saw me through these 6 years. I call him a one-man mopo. He can move a whole village by himself. It's like he has made a vow my tenure must succeed. He literally drags me for meetings. So I'm very grateful to you. Engineer George Okoli, our program director, I salute you for always being here, directing, and I fondly call him Waasa's ATM machine. When we are stuck, we call him. He has sponsored the material of our programs. I think he deserves a round of applause. So my vice chairman, I think he's not here present. God bless your soul for always trying as much as possible to be with us. Your challenges notwithstanding, some of us know the challenges that he's going through. To our former president, Mr. Jefta, I salute you for building the structure on which One Star Nigeria is standing today. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve. To Oga Faraday, I heard he's in Lagos, he couldn't make it here. Whom we fondly call Egbon, thank you for the great foundation you have laid. It is your legacy we are building on today. I thank you. And thank you to my friend Endurance. I salute you for all your financial support to Waasa Nigeria. And again, thank you once and again. And to Mike, I thank you for always being ready to supervise. You are never tired when you are called. You always show up. Thank you very much. And to my friend and sister, Benny Ode, I bless you for your valuable time and sacrifice for always showing up. I thank you for always showing up. Once two of us are in a meeting, it's like 60 women are in the room. I thank you so very much. I thought the center would have been here today, but in closing, I would like to say, as I stand here to be corrected, I have never for once asked what is in the Wansa's account, neither have I personally collected any money on behalf or in the name of Wansa Nigeria for myself. All I have done in these 6 years is work with my own personal money to advocate against arms proliferation and gender-based violence. I stand to be corrected. So, and I thought the center will be here, so I don't know if I should still read this. This should not be, I shouldn't be spending my money. Judge should not be spending his money. Mr. Martin should not be spending his money. This should not be. So I'm using this opportunity to plead with the National Center for the Control of Small Arms to make a space for us in their budget to ameliorate our financial hardship. We also need an office space at the center, as we have carried this burden for about a decade now. In a country where small arms and light weapons is steadily on the increase, Wansa should be supported Wansa should be supported with all it takes so we can continue the advocacy against arms proliferation. This is my humble plea. In closing, as we change office today, I believe my predecessors will do even much more. I thank you all for being here present at our transition ceremony. I am profoundly grateful for the trust placed in me to serve this organization and to contribute to its mission. I thank you all. God bless Nigeria.